Hello and welcome to Apropos, the closure show where we talk about, well, we have guests and we do some demos, trying to keep it visual. You can see us on YouTube, or you can see us live on YouTube, or like subscribe to the channel and get them later. On the panel today we have Mia,
Hi.
Ray,
Hello.
I'm Eric. And our special guest today is Peter Stromberg. Welcome, Peter.
Hi there. Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for having me.
joining us.
That's
Well,
your posh name, isn't it, Peter?
Say again?
I said that's your posh name.
My posh name, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know which one is my posh name.
sometimes I feel like I'm living in a cyberpunk novel because everybody is referred to by their handle,
Yeah.
like in the Matrix. Oh, hi, Neo. Like, is that your real name? Um, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I've
Uh,
been this for a long time. So that's just one of my names almost, yeah. So
named after the candy.
yes,
What are you? Yeah.
that
Okay.
is
Oh,
the
oh, so not a fish.
no, not a fish. Candy was I was playing pinball and I to my surprise joined the high score list on that pinball machine. I didn't know what to write. And then I had the candy lying on the glass.
Oh,
And I just entered PEZ, and since then it has been PEZ. Yeah.
well, the origin story of your handle is really cool. All
So
right, can we jump into a demo? I hear you have something cool to show us.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've been
So
uh,
I saw Pez mention on the chat that he had a getting started with the REPL demo in Calva, and we have an intern who I've mentioned a couple times. Very proud of having an intern. And he uses VS Code and Calva, and I thought this would be wonderful. I thought I gotta ask Pez, can we see it? So,
I
yes,
mean,
yeah, I'm happy
yeah,
to
just
show.
share your screen. We're going. Um, REPL driven development is one of those things that is new for a lot of beginners to Clojure. And
Yeah.
so just seeing what it's like, especially now that we're, often working from home, we don't see our colleagues working very much. So it's good to just see people doing it.
and we
Yeah.
talk about it a lot on the show,
Hmm.
like it's
Yeah.
and
Mm.
it's cool to see it from a different level.
So we could start here, I guess, on calva.io. So this is like the landing page. You get there, and then you have this link here. Let's start the REPL. And depending, you might actually want to more like get started with Clojure. So you have like two audiences, right? People who know Clojure and want to learn Calva, or you don't know Clojure, right? And then you want to learn that. So then there is a guide here to get started with Clojure. I think I will go that way now. So say you have been assigned something and it's in Clojure and you wanna learn it. So then you go here, maybe you find this page, and you will learn Clojure using interactive programming. And you need VS Code, and uh, you need Java. So that's what you need to run this. And then you're in VS Code, and you install Calva through this extension. I have it installed, of course. And then you have a command in Calva that is Calva
Oh,
getting started REPL project.
Awesome.
so
And yeah,
I have a question.
shoot.
What's the little thing in the parens?
Say again.
What's the little orange thing in the parens in the logo?
Yeah, that's a glass of Calvados.
Oh,
Yeah. So they do Calvados in Normandy.
that's
Um,
distilled from cider. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yes.
Yeah,
That-
from cider. Yeah.
That's why it's named
And
like
you're
that.
kind of swirling it a little, so it's got waves
Yeah,
on the.
I didn't write this. It's I think I don't know. Actually, I know this guy only by his handle, Eccentric J. So he has made a lot of Clojure ecosystem
Logos. Oh, cool.
logos. Yeah.
Oh.
So okay, so then you take this, and then you're presented with question. I can't make this bigger though, but it says that you can, if you click OK here, then you get to choose a folder where you create this project, and that's, I guess, the default thing to do, because you're going to create this getting started project and you're not going to finish it immediately, so you want to have it in a folder you find your way to. But you can also just use a random temp directory, and I will do that now. So then it opens up a new VS Code window, and I trust the authors here, yeah.
Looks a little suspicious.
And then you wait a bit, and it opens up this these three files, right? And it has connected the Clojure REPL. So now you're in this getting started REPL, and I will.
Oh,
Okay, so you said it's connected to the Clojure REPL. So where would the user find the Clojure REPL? In the
So
terminal?
they find it here, right? That's
Okay.
that's where they find it, and they need to read this text to understand that.
I see.
And so yeah, so that's the thing here. You're supposed to learn to use the REPL and then learn Clojure using the REPL. So that's the idea here. So you will learn to use Clojure like the way, I guess I'm opinionated. I guess this is the way I want people to use Clojure. It's with a REPL Clojure REPL connected editor. So
Right, and so it's learning the keystrokes to evaluate
this
stuff in your
this first
file.
file is hello REPL, and it's learning the keystrokes and like what to expect. So it says here you should start. I guess it says a bit further down here. So you should start with evaluating the file. In this case, it has actually done that, but anyway, that's what you're supposed to do. So you're supposed to load current file is that command you're supposed to use. And VS Code always shows the keyboard shortcuts in this menu. So you do that, and then it will load this file. And this is like at the bottom of this file. We evaluate this thing. And then this is like walking you through here, and it will tell you, okay, now you can actually go up to this line you found there and press Option Enter, Alt Enter. It depends on your keyboard what it says. So you should press that one there. And you do that, and then you see this
Evaluate. Yeah.
And it also tells you that you can find this also here, which is the Calva output. And it will also show you the thing in the Calva inspector here.
Right.
So tell us about the Calva inspector, because I also see it coming out in the terminal. I think a lot of Emacs users were used to seeing the REPL as looking more or less like terminal output. So tell us about
With
the
a prompt and everything. And,
yeah, tell us about the inspector. What goes into the inspector?
There is a prompt here as well.
Right, that's what I usually use in Calva. Because I bring that one up. I
Yeah.
don't use the inspector
So in
because, well, go ahead.
yeah, I guess in an ideal, in the way that you would want Calva to be used, what are we
Yeah.
using the inspector for?
So the inspector is for like more, what does it say, like data structures, stuff like that. That kind of
Like the return value, the
the return
value.
value.
Oh,
So
okay.
they all show up here. So if we evaluate this here, then you can inspect that.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
So it's showing us kind of the return value plus metadata about it.
Yeah, I guess it is. I don't know. It is a bit busy, I think, but it shows you this is a string. That's what that said, right? So that's what we show, and that this is a list. What that's that, and this is item 0 to 6 in that list. So that's, but it could go deeper, of course, in that sense. So
And in the inline
say again?
in the inline evaluator, in the main editor, do you
So
want to
you
get
have
like a
here-
snippet from it?
Yeah, exactly. So that's a limitation of VS Code. It can't really
Right.
show you more than this. This is actually like
Right.
a CSS decoration, right? More. So you can't show more than the first thing there. But then this one also tells you that you can press Command K, Command I to get a hover here. And this hover will be, yeah, in this case, it's on repeat. Here, at the
Documentation.
bottom of the hover, there is always also the output. So you have it in several places.
Oh, wow. So that's the evaluation result also in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Or-
So you have the
oh.
evaluation result here, you have it here, and you have it here.
So
Nice.
would that, like, I mean, if you had some expression that was gonna do a side effect, like send an
Yeah.
email or something, would it do it? Would it evaluate it when you look at the docs?
When I look at the docs,
Like when I do Command KI, would it?
no, that's the Command KI there is, it shows you the result if there is one.
So it's cached.
In a sense, yeah. So this, when we hit the option enter here to evaluate this,
Yeah,
it put the result of it in all these places,
I
including the hover.
see. Okay,
It's
okay.
not doing it
Every
when
time.
you hover. No,
Got
that's a good question. But other things you find in this hover is the documentation and Clojure docs
Mm-hmm.
examples. Like, and you can bring these examples
Ooh.
down to the document like that in a rich comment form to experiment with it. Now we're going beyond a bit the getting started REPL story, but anyway, so this is the hello REPL, and you're supposed to read this these comments and follow the instruction and learn enough of the mechanics to then I think there's a checkpoint somewhere here. Yeah, this is also a thing here. I want to mention that. But
So are
anyway,
you assuming
here's the
people know
point.
Clojure or you're teaching Clojure at the same time?
Say again?
Are you assuming that people will know Clojure before they start this, or that they are going to learn Clojure at the same time?
So that's the thing here. We're here. It's exactly what we're doing is learning Clojure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but if you already know Clojure, then it's actually this hello REPL and this hello Paredit thing
I see.
that you will pick up, and then you can skip this one.
Right. The welcome to Clojure is more of an intro just to Clojure.
That's an intro to Clojure. And now we reach the checkpoint in this file here and said, you know enough about Calva now, you can go to welcome to Clojure, or you can choose to dig a bit deeper here. So, but let's say we go to welcome to Clojure here, and we just to get in the mood, we encourage people to evaluate that thing there, and then this exercise starts. And this is very basic Clojure.
Mm-hmm.
It's Clojure from the basics, so it's both those. So it will teach you about literals and character types, symbols, keywords. Yeah. So, and this goes on, and it's not finished even. I mean, it is 2,500 lines, and it's still not covering a lot of Clojure. I mean, it's
Right.
It's very, but someday I will finish it. But so far, this has like getting people started with Clojure, and then you can use for Clojure or whatever other tools to continue your journey.
When you were writing this, what was your process for figuring out what goes into it? Has it kind of accreted over time with things that you think beginners should know, or did you start with an outline?
It's both those, plus that I kind of wanted to start from what I felt like was the beginning, right? So the literals and what happens when you evaluate literal, and then from the literals you build like other data structures, and those are also literal in Clojure. That's the beauty of Clojure, I think. And so then I just went from there. I didn't have an outline really, just like a few notes really, what stuff I wanted to cover. But a lot of those notes are still at the bottom of this file because I haven't reached them yet, because like we're going like slowly through the.
You have a string with an emoji at the beginning that we can evaluate as part of it. Can I see you evaluate that?
Say again?
You have an emoji. You've got string
Yes.
welcome to Clojure heart. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen anyone put an emoji in code before. I wanted to see what it looked like in the inspector.
Yeah,
we had an arm just a minute ago, Mia. Come on.
Yeah, the muscle.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh.
So and the thing with it's like that you can in Clojure, you can
use a thumbs up emoji as your keyword. Yeah.
Yes, this is a keyword, right?
Yeah, it's valid.
It validates to that.
Oh.
And you can use it as a variable name too, as a symbol.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't have this in the guide because
Oh.
it's
Not useful.
it's useful. It could be useful, but it's the keyword, the characters you can put in the keyword are actually specified in the Clojure specification, and it's a kind of a much narrower set of characters. Actually, it's just like they don't stop you from using anything. I just don't want to, like in this beginner guide, encourage stuff that is actually not like defined.
The problem with emojis, if I'm not wrong anyway, is that you end up just with the Unicode thing in your GitHub. It relies on the editor to render things, or it relies on, if you're reading it in Notepad or whatever, then
that's why
terminal, then it wouldn't.
I was delighted to see it now I want to see what Emacs would do with it, whether it would render it with the Unicode or.
I say interesting to say what the Emacs would do with it, but the thing with this guide here is that it's actually meant to be available to any editor. So I define them in a separate repository. It's not in the Calva repository. It's another repository where these this command is actually going out there and fetching the stuff and creating the project from it. So I'm hoping that all the editors will actually have material like this available at some point. So I haven't advertised it very much because I haven't gotten the API right yet. So, but it's.
I mean, it's very cool, and it seems like you put a lot of work into it. Can I? Do you have anything more to show before? Because I kind of have an idea for what to do next.
I guess I can have a lot of things to show or not.
Well, I
So
want to see the
I'm
Hello
very
Paredit.
curious about where you're going now. So it's
Well,
if
I
you
want to see Hello Paredit first. We got Hello Paredit on the table. Paredit drives me nuts. I turn it off.
okay.
And so I'd like to see the
I
Calva.
turn it off in Calva because I don't know the keystrokes, but in Emacs I love it. I've know they're all in my fingers, and I don't think about them.
So then you should run this.
I should, yeah. Now I'm
Yeah.
gonna go through it and practice with it, yeah. Because
So
Paredit really does help. It really does.
so it's if you go here and Paredit here. So this is all the Calva Paredit, and it's like has this
Little
gives that shows
video, yeah.
and does and all the default key bindings.
Oh,
So
those key bindings are actually very intuitive.
yeah, I guess for some people think they're not, but they're at least they are like I have attempted to for them to make sense. Like there's a system to them, right? So it's but then maybe they bend your fingers a lot. But I mean, you can change them as well. So it's not like you have to use these. But if you do, then I have tried to make them make sense, right? So it's.
I like up arrow for expanding and down arrow for shrinking, but you know, personal tastes may differ.
Yeah, so up arrow, actually that moves up. If I do control up arrow here, it moves up, like in the structure.
Up the form, yeah. Up the structure, yeah.
So it's, and you can go down the structure as well, down arrow. So, and it's also like trying to go with the editor, right? So in VS Code and in lots of editors, if you do press Option Alt, whatever you call it, and you do up or down arrow, you will actually move the line. So if we would have a text file here, in that text file, I can move a line by using Option up and down arrow. So, but in Calva, that is moving
the form within the bigger form.
Within the bigger form, yeah. Exactly. So if I would,
so is it whatever form starts on that line? Is that the idea?
So it's inside. So if I do it here,
yeah. Oh, it's wherever the cursor, the thing it's inside of immediately. I see.
Yeah, exactly. And so in Calva, there is a concept that we call the current form.
Okay.
A lot of commands, they will affect the current form. So this command here, I will move the current form. And if I do Control Enter, I will evaluate the current form. So
makes sense.
And you can find the current form like in two ways without evaluating anything. It's either you expand the selection, and it will select the first thing it will select is the current form. So if I have the cursor there and do it, I will select that. If I have the cursor here, it will select that word
inside the string. Yeah,
because words in strings are also forms in Calva, and then I can expand it from there, right? So it's, and if you do this inside let, that doesn't make sense in that let form, but you have here you can show it in this binding here. If I do now, if this would be something else than a binding form, then hitting it again would actually select the whole
to the pair. I see. Okay.
In this case, and also move, like I showed you before, it will move the pair as well.
Right. That's
So
cool. That's cool because if you were naive, you would just move just the key, and then it would be messed up.
And it doesn't go far enough. So in some like con threads and stuff like that, you would like it to do the same thing, but it doesn't. It's only like a very hard coded list of pairing forms that it does it. So it's that's a like room for improvement. We can improve it and to cover more.
Yeah, you're right. Because in a threading form, the first thing is special, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I haven't gone there. So it's a bit harder to do, but it's on that big to-do list too. I find that I'm using Promisa a lot, and it doesn't like the Promisa let is not included. So that's one of the things. Yeah. So what the thing with Paredit is that it is completely optional, right? It's there. If you know the commands, you can use them, and you have them all here, Paredit, so you can learn them one at a time, whatever. But otherwise, it's not. It's not. If you're not using them, it's not. It's like it's not there, except one thing, and that is that Calva defaults to Paredit strict mode. So it will not let you. So this, when I press backspace here now, and it won't delete that paren, because that is a Paredit backspace. Don't know if that makes sense. So same here.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it won't let you unbalance your parens. Yeah.
Yeah, and here same. And if I do it now, it will remove that. And if I do it now, it will remove that. So
yeah,
and this is
cursive is the same. Yeah.
So this is a bit surprising to new if you're not used to structural editing. This is a bit surprising, but I have landed here because when the default was the non-strict mode, I had a much more work in the Calva support to help people. Right. So
right, because you're telling them, you're reading their code and counting parentheses and trying to tell them,
so
you missed one.
Calva stops working. Like if it's not, or all bets are off if the structure.
Right. Well, the Paredit stuff won't work anymore because it's not balanced, and you're selecting weird stuff, and
you know, the Paredit is used to evaluate the things, everything. So everything like Calva is broken if the structure is broken. So
that reminds me of something. I mean, I say this a bunch, but I once taught a workshop, and we used Parinfer.
Yeah.
Which is different from Paredit, but it's kind of the same idea of structural editing.
Yes.
The cool thing about Parinfer was that if someone had a problem, like their parentheses were wrong, they raised their hand, I could go over and just look at the indentation and just hit spacebar and it would work. Because it was like, you was no way to, like, your parens might be in the wrong place, but they're always balanced in Parinfer. And so just because of the way it infers the parens from the indentation and infers the indentation from the parens, depending on what you're editing. Yeah. It was easy as a teacher to just like visually look, and I didn't have to actually count parens. I could just see that, oh, this is too far to the left. That helped.
So it's not by like taste that Parinfer is not part of Calva. I have actually several times. It's really hard to make VS Code do it. So it's
oh really?
yeah, I've spent a lot of time with it and failed. And also like speaking to Colin, he said like when he did it for cursive, it was the hardest thing he's ever done. So I guess it's not just VS Code; it's a hard problem anyway.
Isn't it because the editors have to support where the cursor is and where, so there's a lot of editor support required. That's fundamentally the problem, isn't it?
Well, you're rewriting potentially everything after the cursor until the end of the form. I can imagine it's not.
So I was very close a while to get it to work, but then some fundamentals in Calva, like the Calva structural editor, was not there. So
yeah,
I'm not saying it's impossible, because it just needs a lot of time, and we need to fix a few things also in Calva. Otherwise, we actually know how to do it.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, but there is a dash of Parinfer in here. So now I force deleted one of the brackets here. And you can infer the parents from the indentation to get them here. So yeah, so you can, some situations you can't really figure out. You can fix the indentation because that makes sense to you. Then you can infer.
It happens to me a lot when I like copy paste. I'll have an extra paren, or sometimes even the autocomplete will put in an extra paren, and
the VS Code edit, the default like edit tools in VS Code, they're really bad with the brackets. So that can happen there as well. But a power thing to learn is this select expand selection, because then you will always have a complete form when you copy it. Or
no, I'm gonna start using that.
That's the first thing. I hope that's one of the first thing I go through here, right? As well, it says like learn this
selection.
So expand selection is really,
I'm gonna go through this like as soon as
I'm gonna do this because I just turned it off.
As you see, it's very short here. It's not. It's then sending you here. So this one is just like giving you a dash of it, really. So it's
like a little playground, a little place to play with it.
Yeah, so it gets you started with it. But we could expand this as well, of course.
Sure.
And here is a link to this repository I was talking about, where all these guides live.
Oh, okay.
So here, and it's in this folder drams, and in this case, it's in the version 2. So this is the Calva Getting Started guide that we looked at now. There are actually more of them. So I can show you. You can click on this REPL button here, and it will show you a menu. And at the bottom of this menu, you have a few of these. So you can start a quick start browser project here, for instance. I use a random. Trust myself. And it will. So now it has started the Clojure script REPL here. And this is the application.
Oh, cool.
Right.
It's a great getting started. I mean, you're.
This is now. This is a Clojure script REPL. You need to evaluate that formally.
That's awesome.
I like that.
So we have a question in the chat. The question is, what are the 3 most valuable shortcuts, I guess keyboard shortcuts, users new to Calva should pick up?
The 3. One of them I've already mentioned. It's expand selection. That one. And it's Control W on Mac and something else on Linux and Windows. On Linux and Windows, it is the same as the corresponding VS Code command, because VS Code has an expand selection command as well. So there we have just hijacked that. But on Mac, for legacy reason, it's Control W.
And
but
in
if you
and in VS
Windows close to Windows, so you don't want to do that.
and
So,
in VS Code you can open up this command palette hitting. I know it's Command P on Mac.
that's a VS Code thing.
Command
Command
Shift P, and
Yeah.
then you search for it, and then you can see on the right hand side there's a little guide to what the keystroke is.
This is expand selection. Calva expand selection you have there. So that's you can't live without it actually. So it will always select the current form, the first thing it does. Then it will keep selecting complete forms, and yeah, so that's one. That's one, and the other ones, I guess, is here. So it's this this shows all the time. So Alt Enter or Option Enter to evaluate the current top level form. And top level form in Clojure is most often like def and defen stuff, right? So it's to evaluate the new definition, then you use Alt Enter. That's what you do. And then it's to evaluate the current form, the same thing that you would select if you do that. That's Control Enter. So you can target something and evaluate just that. So that's three, and I guess that's the three most important shortcuts to know. But then there is one more than that you use. I don't know if you need a shortcut for it, but that's Calva load current file and requirements. That's Control C and then Enter. Control C. A lot of Calva commands has that first short.
It's like a prefix.
Yeah.
Control Alt C.
C, and then you find a lot of. And so that's also, if you go into the shortcuts editor in VS Code, it's very, you can do it like that. Control Alt C, you can search for shortcuts, and then you find all, and you see that most of these are this is Calva. Calva is there. That's the Calva short chord in a sense then. And so this is also super important to know about this keyboard shortcuts.
Oh, you got a lot of HTML to hiccups. That's cool.
Yeah. So if you have some I missed it. It's somewhere here. Go like that. So if you have, let's say, this URL here, and you copy the element. So now we have HTML on the clipboard. And if you want it inside here, so you can paste the HTML code as hiccup, and then you have it as hiccup here. So that's also very handy.
What a treat.
And there are also other Calva paste. No, not that one. That was so like with this. You can also convert Dart code to
Whoa.
so yeah. So there are a few of these.
How does it do that? I mean, I understand the HTML to hiccup.
I forgot its name now. So I'm really bad with names, but there's I'm using a library that does it. So
okay.
No, actually, it's just like
it's just using interop. It uses some kind of rules to translate Dart into Clojure Dart.
Yeah, so it makes an AST from it, and then
okay, yeah. Can you do Java? If I put Java in there, is there a Java to Clojure?
Oh, maybe it should be, but no. Yeah. So yeah. So it's yeah, we're all over the place, I guess. But one more of these that I want to show you is that you can create a Shadow Celier's full stack project here as well. Random directory again, and now it has like downloaded this stuff from this drams directory. And yeah, it opens up this README to start with. Address already in use, so I couldn't really. We can. We do it brute. I guess I have to do it like this. Reload this window.
So this is basically a blank app, you know, a little blank website template someone could.
It is, yeah, exactly. So it's this. Not this. This was the one that was occupying the port. So this is the app that you have done. And so this is actually Thomas Heller's like
Shadow example app.
Example, yeah. But it's a bit adapted to Calva reality. Yeah.
Cool.
So it's a very good start to have like the minimal to have a shadow project going. And the other thing is saw there. So if we I have like hesitate to have too much of opinions on what people should be using with this. So, but here, for reasons I needed an example project for a thing I did that I want to talk to as well, talk about as well. But anyway, this project is built from that shadow starter that you get. But this one actually has some content. Right, but it's still not using reagent or anything like that. It's just like plain DOM. But if you start, I think this one also starts the REPL automatically. Exactly. And
that's really cool.
So it starts this application, which is a bit more interesting because it actually has both a server and a client, and they communicate with each other.
Nice.
So I'm thinking maybe I should make this the example instead. I'm not sure how I should do it. But anyway, the thing I wanted to show people with this project is another extension that I have made that's called Calva Power Tools. So if you install Calva Power Tools, then you get a menu which has a lot of reach into good stuff in the Clojure ecosystem.
Oh, profiler.
Yeah, you have
Criterion, Quickbench. Oh,
whatever. So maybe you don't have Criterion, like the dependency in your project, but you choose that. Now it loads that Criterion dependency.
Oh, thank you, Alex Miller, for that.
Yeah. Now we don't have anything here to really I guess it would be here on the server side, and you could have it here. Criterion. So you can quick bench this top level form here, and it will do that for you. No, it's just a literal. But anyway, that's and the thing that I use a lot in Clojure is snitch.
Wait, but where's the output of that? Am I seeing it? Oh,
it's just taking
terminal.
Yeah, it's just taking a while for it to.
I
to do.
see. I see. That's a lot of work. It's got to compile that function like a million times.
Now it ran it right.
Oh.
So, yeah.
20 nanoseconds.
So
Okay.
you have performance stuff. You have data specs support. So data specs is this Clojure Data Inspector by Christian Johansson. It's super great. And you can actually open a panel, data specs panel inside VS Code here, because otherwise data specs is something that you have as an extension in your browser.
Oh.
So if you do here, you have the app state here. But now I have it here as well, but I need to data specs, show the browser extension specs in VS Code. It failed. I need to data specs, load the data specs dependency. So I'm not sure it's going to work now, but maybe. Okay, I need to actually be in the browser code. There. So now you have.
Oh, wow. From the browser. It's the same values.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you would inspect something on the server side of things here, inspect current form to server state. So now this is the server state. And
No
if
way.
we increase the server counter, you see that happens here. It doesn't happen on the client yet, of course, but if you refresh the client from the server, then it will have happened here as well. So it's
Eric's mind has been blown.
I know I've been using Calva, just without I just have to say I never just go through the docs and read everything that this can do. So I'm
this is a bit new, the Calva
power
tools.
tools.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot of things. As I said, Snitch. I don't know if you're a user, but it's tool that will inline def everything for you, so you can inspect, have like the REPL being a debugger.
Right. So you have a complex form with lets and things that are binding variables, and now you can't evaluate a form inside that let that uses the variables because it's using a variable that's not defined at the top level.
Exactly. So
And
load. Yeah.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you load the snitch dependency like that, and then you instrument the current form. I did that with this one here, sync client to server. Okay. And if we try to evaluate this here, it won't work. But if we would increase that counter again and go out here and refresh, or maybe it's actually sync to server. Oh. There. Now you can. Let's try it again. You should be able to see the client counter here. Yeah. So then
because it instrumented it. And
yeah.
so now
so
client counter is
evaluated it actually
defined.
not with defn, but with defn star, which is a snitch macro. But this is like only if it goes deep, as you says, with lets inside lets and whatever, it will take it all.
So as the last value of the argument to that function, it saves it at the top level so that you can evaluate it again. Oh, that's so nice.
And that's the limitation of it. That's his last value.
Yeah. But that's often what, I mean, you're just saving the last thing in an atom or something, and then so you can print it out later. That's great.
Yes. Yeah. So it's, but that's Calva Power Tools. So it has also like tool steps. Clay, I don't know if you use, that's actually why Calva Power Tools was created. It was like this Timothy Prattley and Daniel Slutky, who wanted Calva to have support for Clay, and it didn't make sense to put it into Calva, so we created a separate extension for it. So Clay was the first thing we put into Calva Power Tools. Yeah. So, and this will grow, I guess. With
what is Clay, PEZ? I don't know what it is.
So it's yeah, you should actually ask them. But you can make.
I thought you might,
Yeah. It's literate programming. So it's a bit like Clerk,
like org mode or something.
If we make, okay, actually need to Clay.
If you make
actually we don't have
mean?
support for. I need to have Clay, the Clay dependency. So anyway, it's very similar to Clerk, I think. Yeah.
To Clerk. Oh, okay. Okay.
So it's like a notebook for your forms.
Yeah. But it's part of the Visual Tools project.
Right.
It's a lot of other things in that ecosystem that people do that will like work together, because there's like this kindly protocol and other stuff there, and Clay is there as like keeping it together in a sense. So you can look at Clojure data like this, and you can look at it in Clay, right? And that could be like any, like it's more like an application.
Wow.
Yes. So yeah, so that I had hoped to be able to show also Calva Power Tools here for you today. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That was great. I didn't even know that existed. So
no, of course, this data specs thing here is a bit like overlapping with this inspector here, but the inspector is always there. You don't need to do anything; it will always be there. But if you want something richer, and data specs is also like following atoms, anything that is and what IREF, I guess it is, it will follow it. So if you have a data script database in your application, you put it here, it will show you that, and it has like super good support for showing you it. And also on the server side, if you have Datomic, you can also show that here.
And it shows you the server and the client at the same time. That's amazing.
Yes, it is. That's very, very cool. So it's Christian Johansson was made data specs, and he's like all about like data oriented programming, right? So it's everything he does is always like in this data oriented vein. So yeah,
we'll have to invite.
Keep watching your state and your data, and he has a library called MEEP that is like a temp. No, that's the wrong word for it. It's a way to like express common transformations in a sense in data. And one application for MEEP is internationalization. So you can use it to support several languages of your application. That's one use for it. And of course, he does replicant. I don't know if you have been using replicant any, but it's
I've been indoctrinated. Yeah, it's phenomenal. Yeah.
So it's super. It is very similar to React reagent, but there is no
there's no React dependency, is there? Yeah.
No dependency at all, actually. So it's if we go to, I don't know if we have them here. We have replicant. So this is replicant core, and we can look in depth. See, we can do it like this. Replicant.fun is where you should go to learn it. And you go here to the GitHub repo, and you look at all the dependencies that replicant has. Super nice. It's implementing its own virtual DOM and everything like that. But a thing with it is you get totally data oriented. So in your views, for instance, here, there's this submit handler here, for instance. You see there is no, this is not a function. It's actually data that is being returned. So everything here is data. So that means that if you write your views in a way that, and you can test them. And here we are using another of Christian Johansson's lookup. So that's like a CSS selector, but for hiccup. So then this is testing the views of this application, and since it's totally data, can I move this? Yes, you can. You can run these tests also in the JVM. So that's what I did. So it ran these tests. This is a SailJC file, and you can run them in the JVM. And as well as they are running here in the shadow SailJS test runner in SailJS as well.
Huh.
So we have a little bit less than 5 minutes, and we have 2 questions. One about Calva and one that is a little bit more personal.
Okay.
So how do you envision Calva's future? What is what's in your roadmap for the next things you want to add to Calva?
So Calva doesn't have a roadmap. So right now, there are some really big things, but also just smaller things. So Brandon Rinch, another guy in the Calva team, he's right now working with a new output, result output experience. As you said, we can show the output in all kinds of places in Calva, but we don't have one place for like rich output. So I think that will actually, in a sense, replace a lot of these places that we place things now. So we will have one place that the Calva results, and it will be combined Calva results and standard output stuff goes to. So I think that's the big thing when it comes to Calva. I'm hoping that depending on who will start using Calva, that would tell us what we should be working on when it comes to Calva. I'm hoping that we will see a big boost and growth of Clojure users sometime soon, and then Calva should be there to welcome them to Clojure and help them be successful with Clojure, as Christoph puts it. So yeah, but the boring answer there is that there is no kind of big thing right now, except this app view. That's the only thing that's cooking there.
But that's very Clojure, PEZ, because no one promises anything,
Yeah, it's all hammock. It's all the hammock. So
a lot of my time goes into Joyride these days, or it's So Joyride is this extension to VS Code that lets you hack VS Code itself with the REPL as you are using it in user space. So that's my secret plan to get a lot of people to start using Clojure, because
to turn VS Code into Emacs.
Yeah, it turns VS Code into Emacs pretty much. But it's a nicer programming language than Emacs. So, and in that respect, the VS Code team has lately shown quite a lot of interest in Joyride. So we will be streaming in late August. I will be streaming together with the VS Code team.
Oh, how exciting.
About Joyride. So yeah, so hoping there, like not like going mainstream, but at least reach more general developers with Clojure. So yeah.
All right, now we have a personal question, and then we have reached our hour limit, so we will be signing off. So we would like to ask, it's actually Yo-Yo Broker here has kind of created a regular question, which is non-programming related book recommendations for our viewers.
Non-programming related book recommendations. Okay, so yeah, the best book that I have ever read, or that's the wrong way to put it. The book that
you can just stop sharing your screen, by the way, Pez.
Stop sharing.
Yeah. Oh no, there were so many of us.
Yeah, so the book that has influenced me the most, I would say, that's Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
Okay.
And it's written by an American philosopher, that's Robert Pirsig, and he was living in Sweden for a while. So I'm not sure if that made him a bit bigger in Sweden than other places. But it's a book about quality and what quality really like is. And if I bastardize his message, it is like quality comes from inside us. So, and we can like give it to other people by making stuff of the quality that we have inside us. And then we give that thing that we have made to other people, and that contains this quality that I have given this thing. So yeah, I read this one like 30 years ago or something like that, but it has stayed with me. And that's a bit like how I approach things a lot. Is from that book.
Thank you. We will have a link to that in the show notes.
Yeah, and then we read a lot and with the kids in this family, and it's when they start to read, they read. So we have this it's not every night, but almost every night we read to each other. And so there is a lot of books there that I would like to recommend, but I don't know. The one that really made me happy it was Momo, by the same guy that
the Finnish guy.
It is.
Is it Finnish?
I think it's German. It's the same guy that wrote the Never-Ending Story, which also is an awesome book, actually. I don't know that there's a subtitle that I only know in Swedish, but it's Momo, Momo, and it's super playful. I mean, it's everything is like fantasy and they they are just having so much fun. And then there are these, I don't know, maybe they are general adults or whatever. They're like, so they are like the thieves of time. So they make things boring, and so that's like the enemy in this. So in this book, yeah. Of course, he also wrote the Never-Ending Story, which I also can recommend. Like it's among those books that, yeah, I could read Momo over and over again. It's one of
So, according to Wikipedia, it's also known as the Gray Gentleman or the Men in Gray.
Oh, it's
I've
got
never
a very
heard of it.
long title.
Oh,
The
I think
full
that's
title in German is very long.
Yeah. So that's the dudes that steal time from the kids. Yeah. It's super awesome.
Thank you so much. All right, we will link to these. It's a good question. It's lovely to hear what people are thinking about when they're not thinking about the same things that we're thinking about. So
I think a general thank you as well for all the kind of work on Calva.
All the work. Oh my God.
It's incredible. It's years and years and years now, and I think you are bringing a huge audience of developers. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and making it easy for new people to come on, like teaching Clojure, the tools, the process. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
I'm so happy to provide. It's great.
and thank you so much for coming on our show. And I think
Yeah,
we're
thanks for
gonna
having me. That was
cut
really
off
great.
the stream.
Yeah.
Hope it made sense.
It was
It was
wonderful.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. We had like 20 users at one point, which is great for the live part. So thank you, subscribe,
It
and we'll see you.
unlocked some stuff for me for Calva for sure.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, right? Like it's supposed to be for, beginners, but I just learned a lot about the deep Calva. So thank you.
I guess you're actually missing a bit of that uh, beginner material. We could start digging there, making more of that.
Are you
In the
looking for
beginning,
help?
I did a lot of that, but after that, is more like this feature and some advanced thing, or not so advanced thing, but anyway, a lot less of but so we could pick that up again and do more of that.
Are you looking for help to develop that stuff? Because some of our audience might want to help. Did they just join the project on GitHub?
Yeah, they really should. And as I said, that Clojure guide is not finished, and we could also make more of those starter projects and everything like that. So and that's also very easy to do. The hard part there is to have an idea what to do, of course. But if you want to help with that, making more material for that Clojure guide, that would be awesome as well. Yeah, just like one place to do something. So
Fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks,
Yes, thank
Pez.
you.
Thanks, audience. See you
Viewers.
later. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's give it 10 seconds because it